Hello everybody, welcome to the Chensor Dynasty. My name is James Chen. You are here at twitch.tv/jchensor. Welcome. And how's everybody going? And I fucked up yesterday. Let's just start that right here, because what we're going to talk about today here is the Street Fighter V netcode update yesterday, the debacle that happened yesterday. So here, it's YouTube. I mark my videos not made for kids. I make it not made for kids. Look, obviously, what happened yesterday was Capcom took the servers down. They brought it back up. People started trying it out because a tweet from last week, Ono said that next week we'll have an update for the netcode. And then this happened, and SF5 server tweeted that they're going down. Here's it back up. And then everybody's like, cool, did they fix the netcode? Did they fix the netcode? And immediately what everyone discovered was they couldn't launch their Street Fighter V anymore if they were using the Ultimore patch or the other one, the Fluffy Peach patch. I'm not sure. What was it? Fluffy something patch? The Fluffy patch. If they were using either of the patches, they couldn't launch it anymore because the files needed to be verified now. You could easily bring them back using Steam. Fluffy Sheep, that's what it was. So basically, the initial reaction, hey, shout outs to, we got a level 3 hype train emote, cool. But the immediate thing was that people discovered they couldn't use the patches anymore. So, this was one of the things that, people were kind of expecting. Like, I kind of expected that eventually they would make these files not work because of the fact that it does ruin the PC PS4 crossplay situation. So people would have wanted to get rid of these mods, right? Because there were a lot of people out there who are using the mods not in good faith, playing against people specifically to saddle them with all the rollback to get easy victories that way. Obviously, these people are not playing for fun, or they have no motives to actually get legitimately better. They just wanted to be trolls. There are griefers out there, and I totally get that. However, what everybody was hoping was that if that patch came out and got rid of those fan mods that improved the netcode, and I've used the Ultimore patch, and trust me, it was significantly better. It was significantly better than it was before. If they got rid of that, then they would also fix the netcode themselves. And what happened was that as we were on the Tuesday show, when that patch dropped and the server came back up and everything went live again, and immediately people started testing it, and the first few comments were like, it's the same, nothing's changed. Then everyone was telling us that Brian F was playing and still running into a bunch of problems, and Brian F was getting mad that nothing changed. Prototype then put out a video of the teleporting still happening over there, and a lot of negative reactions came in, and that immediately caused myself, and I'm not going to speak for David, but I'm just saying myself and David, both of us, it gave us reason to believe that all the patch did was kill the fan mods. So we couldn't use them anymore and didn't improve the netcode. And a lot of people were actually saying that, right? And, man, let me tell you, as a person who has been, playing the game for over 4 years now, has been hoping for a netcode fix forever, when you get that kind of news that they killed the fan mod that actually made the game playable online, and then they didn't do anything else, yeah, it was definitely a snap reaction on my part. Was it an overreaction? I don't think it was an overreaction, because I think that's the appropriate reaction had the information been true. But there was definitely, it did not look good. It did not look good, and I was very upset. I was visibly upset, and to be honest with you, I was probably pretty restrained from the things that I actually really, really wanted to say on the stream yesterday, but needless to say, a lot of it did come out, and I was still very upset. And I was angry, and you know, there was a lot of proclamations of the death of Street Fighter V and stuff like that, because honestly, if they didn't fix anything, like I said, that's death to the community, right? So here's the thing though, right? I mean, why did this happen? Why did this happen? And again, I admit that I definitely reacted too fast. I should have waited to see what people said. I was a little, like I said, I was not even a little, I was very upset. And so I probably should have waited more to gather more information and stuff. The initial reports, the initial accounts weren't great. There was already videos, examples of teleportation and stuff, and it just didn't look good. Now, we should have waited a little bit more outside of just, 20 minutes instant reaction and stuff like that. And a lot of people started talking about it. I started seeing tweets from everybody saying, I can't believe they didn't do anything. People said that the DLL wasn't any different than the previous DLL, that when that Altimore modded, but in fact the change actually happened to the exe file, not the DLL. So right away people were saying the DLL was the same as before, so that was kind of like a feeling like it was the exact same thing, right? That the netcode wasn't fixed, because that's where Altimore's fix was. Again, I don't know if that was false, maybe the DLLs are different, but a lot of information came out that really led us to believe that that was the situation, that all they did was ban the patches and that was it. And again, mea culpa for reacting too quickly and for declaring death to Street Fighter V a little too quickly and everything like that. And again, people know this is a game that I've been supporting for a while, and you know, for the past few years, people have accused me for, you know, being a favorite to the game, you know, for only loyalty purposes and stuff like that, right? To be honest with you, one of the interesting things was the amount of people coming out and kind of defending Capcom and getting mad at the people who did get mad too fast is actually kind of refreshing. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm gonna see the silver lining on this. So all the people that came out like yelling at me and everything like that, and yelling at everybody, I kind of was happy to see that. I actually was kind of happy to see that, because, you know, I really feel like it's really given us an idea that, you know, there are a lot of people out there who really just enjoy Street Fighter V right now. You know, all these these guys really enjoy the game and they want to keep playing it, and they're upset that there is all this negativity surrounding it. So here's the thing though. Someone mentioned this right before I started the Chen reaction in chat, you know, and I really want to get into this, right? So why did this happen? Why did this actually happen? And 81 Malice kind of already has the answer in there in the chat. Right, exactly. Maximilian dude sitting here in the chat too. You know, we were all people that that tweeted about it and everything like that, and were really upset. The misinformation, Bowgirl Blurg is right, was spread at an alarming rate. So here's the thing though, why did it happen, right? Why did it happen? Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of causes to this, right? There's a lot of things that led up to this. Least of all, which is that, you know, Street Fighter V has already had a pretty sordid history, right? The game came out, didn't have a particularly strong launch. You know, all their information kept getting leaked. They released an update to fix a problem that accidentally included a rootkit. Ono has been in an interview before saying that the netcode was improved, you know, previous to this patch, when the netcode hadn't changed at all pretty much and everything. So there's just this giant history of it seeming like Capcom making the wrong choice, of Street Fighter V in particular, I should say, the fighting game division making the wrong choice. In fact, I even saw one person on Twitter saying it's amazing how often every time Capcom has the opportunity to do something that they clearly always make the incorrect choice, like the exact opposite correct choice. Of course, that was based on the misinformation again. But again, what happens is that this level of distrust has led to these kind of snap reactions, right? Like, it's just so easy to believe that they didn't do anything to the netcode and then they just made the worst decision possible. It's so easy to come to those conclusions because it's so believable. Even though I have said beforehand that if that's what Capcom did, I would be completely incredulous, and I was like, I couldn't imagine them doing that. And yet when it happened, I was so ready to believe it already because of all the stuff that has happened before. And that's a problem, right? So a lot of, I mean, again, this is not like any sort of blame on anybody else. This is just a result of what's happened the past 4 years. We've had bad netcode for 4 years, right? We've asked them to fix it. They never fixed it. Finally, a patch comes out, and then, you know, the idea that Capcom would kill the mods and not fix it because they haven't fixed it for 4 years after a couple of other mistakes is just so ridiculously believable at this point in time that I think everybody just kind of jumped on it. I think everybody just jumped on it, was like as soon as we found out that it might have been our worst fears, I think most of us wanted to just be like, yep, worst fears, and then just let it all out, because it's like we didn't want to have that hope that maybe it was fixed, because every time we try to give ourselves hope, it's never fulfilled, right? So that, I think, definitely, at least from my point of view, that's kind of how it was for me. As soon as I started hearing people say it was bad, I was just like, yes, 100% I should have been like, wait, no, let's test it out. Maybe it has improved. But at that point in time, did I want to do that to myself anymore? Did I really want to set myself up for that kind of disappointment again, right? I just wanted to accept the disappointment right there, right then, and be mad. But the problem is that was an emotional reaction. I should not have done that. I should have been a little bit better about that, but it's tough. But, however, I'm not going to put the entire blame on my side or on Twitter's side or on all this, on people, you know, talking about it, on and mob mentality and all this stuff like this. There definitely is one aspect of feedback that we have to give Capcom, and they have to listen to this right now. And this is absolutely serious here. They need to improve their communication. Okay, when they announced the patch, even before the server had come back on the show, I said to myself, why do we have to speculate what the server is going down for? Why aren't they just literally telling us what the update is going to be? One of the reasons why it was so easy to assume nobody did anything to the netcode is because no one said they were going to. And when nobody talks about it, it definitely feels like a sweeping under the rug kind of thing. Like, here's a fix. Right? But like, if they just actually talk to us a little bit. Yeah, the thing is, it came out afterwards, right? I mean, like, literally there was one vague tweet that had like 3 interpretations from Ono saying, we will address the netcode next week. They didn't say, we think we've improved the netcode, we're going to roll out a fix next week to see if your experience has improved. They said, we've had an update to it. Then immediately, well, not immediately, a few minutes, like maybe 20 minutes after the server went back up, Ono finally tweeted out like, hey, let us know how the netcode is. But that's it. Like, can we get like some sort of details on there, right? Like, all we needed from them was, hey, look, we're rolling out a patch that's going to prevent people from modding the game to ruin some players' experience for crossplay, right? Like, you say that, and everybody knows exactly what that means without having to mention what that mod did, right? If you phrase it like, hey, part of this rollout is going to prevent people from using customized code to ruin the experience for cross-play between PC and PS4. All of us already know what that means without having to make it sound like that they're trying to do something bad or something like that, right? And then they say, and we're also rolling out some updates to the netcode that we hope will improve your gameplay. Please give us feedback with the stuff that you experience to SFV server, right? If that came out before the upgrade or right as soon as the server went live again, there wouldn't have to be much question. And in fact, would we even still be confident that anything happened? Or would we all still be sitting here going, is this placebo? What is going on? If Tool Assisted hadn't done a literal mod on the files to actually see that something actually changed. It wasn't until Tool Assisted posted that out that I think anybody had any concrete belief that anything happened, right? And that's like the most troubling part. That's the most troubling part, right? And I'm curious. A Texman says, I'm a Tekken fan and I wish they would do what Capcom is doing. I don't know what that means exactly, but Catalyst says, I still think the incompatibility of the mods comes from the changes to the netcode, not a blocked aim specifically added. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. Yeah, look, and that's the thing, right? Capcom can't communicate, but there's Capcom US, right? Capcom US exists, and they probably want to comment on this stuff. They probably want to talk about it, but I have the funny feeling maybe that they're just told not to. When the LCQ wasn't going to be streamed at Capcom Cup, it was Bizarro Mike who came out and actually posted a tweet about that, right? It wasn't any sort of official Capcom account. And I just wonder, they're terrified or something, or just the concept of communication really is hard for an old school company like Japan. What they do have to realize, I mean, like when Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out, they really didn't believe anybody would be able to data mine the discs to find out if there was DLC already on disc, right? What I think they have to realize now is that people are ridiculous now. The human being is ridiculous. We can figure out anything as long as it's a computer and as long as it's digital. People can figure out so much stuff. And so what people have to realize that in this day of communication, it's not about necessarily trying to save face or trying not to admit faults, because the problem is you can't hide it anymore. It's all just right there. And we really need to get at least the Japanese branch of Capcom to understand that communication is such a key thing, right? I mean, when Leroy started dominating Tekken 7, Michael Murray already was tweeting out. He's like, oh, look, I'm sorry, whatever. And then that first patch came out and minorly nerfed Leroy. And Michael Murray was like, this is not it. We've got more. And then when the next patch came out, he's like, here's the official Leroy normalizing patch. Like, Michael Murray has been doing a really good job trying to communicate with people. It's like, I just feel like that they need to learn and understand that, and it's very tough. It's very tough that with Tekken, I mean, I wish they would try to implement rollback. Oh yeah, of course, Texman, dude, we all want that. Do you think Street Fighter V needs a filter connection? Probably, although it's not too hard just to set the connection to ask. And then you can just check it a little bit manual. You have to do a little bit manual there. But and that's the thing, Suzumiya Haruki. That's the tough part. Pretty clear that Capcom JP will never, under any circumstances, admit fault. There could be no losing face with them. It is a private company. right? So there's a lot of old school mentality. It's still family owned. Capcom is one of the last family owned major video game companies in Japan. If I recall my information correctly, okay, that's what I think is happening. Don't worry, Tap 2 GG. I definitely will. But that's just the thing, right? If we can just get to the point where we have that communication, right? Just have this open communication. And like I said, you can spin it, you can spin the words, but if you know how to spin it so that the people who are in the know understand the spin, like if you said this update includes a way to prevent people from using customized code to have an advantage over PS4 players in cross-platform gaming. Like, when you say it that way, for people who have no idea what's going on, they'll be like, oh, I guess somebody has a cheater patch out there that they've been using, like happens to every game like Call of Duty and Fortnite and PUBG, etc., right? Then they'll just think, oh, okay, they're fixing that. But everybody who's in the know will read that and be like, oh, they've banned the Altimore patch. They've banned the Fluffy Sheep patch, right? Like, and then we're all already cognizant of that feature. But that's the immediate obvious thing that came from the change, and the netcode improvement is not the immediate thing. So it feels like a negative right away from the get-go. But if this information was given to us right from the start, I think it would be better. Now, again, just because I'm talking about all this doesn't mean that I am absolving myself from any sort of wrongdoing or anything like that. Like I said, probably shouldn't have reacted that way. I've explained why I reacted that way. I've explained why I had a little bit too quick of a reaction to that. But at the same time, there's a lot of problems that can be fixed on multiple sides. I will try to do my best to not react that quickly to things like that, and to make sure that we have actual proof before, I get frustrated. But I mean, the show was live. I didn't have a chance to sit there and think about constructing a tweet properly. That's just the way it was. And like I said, the first bits of information we got were all super negative, so it's hard not to be frustrated. But at the same time, if we had gotten communication, I don't think any of this would have really gone down the way that it did. So again, just to summarize, TLDR, the patch, right? So what the patch does here now is it takes the quality of the connection. This is my understanding of it, okay? I am a programmer, but I don't know netcode very well. So my understanding of what they did was they'll evaluate your ping, and based on the ping, if your ping is really good, it will try to resync your games more often. Max frames before sync, basically. It will lower the number. What that means is that it will try to switch both games to a reality situation more often. So the rollbacks won't be as far, they'll be shorter, and they'll happen more frequently. Okay? That's the idea with a better ping. If you have a bad ping, it's going to be just kind of like how it was before. Now, when I say syncing to reality, that is syncing to not each other, but to what the game knows is the actual state, right? So here's the thing. What it means by syncing to reality is it'll do this game, and if the other guy is, if it loses input from the other guy, what it'll do is go, oh shoot, I got his inputs now. These are his actual inputs. Let me figure out what really happened with the game. So this is the last time I synced it. So I'm gonna go back to this in save state, play out the inputs that they input with my inputs exactly as they would have occurred in real time, and then warp the state of the game instantly in a frame to the actual result, which is why sometimes you'll see someone get hit and then block all of a sudden. So they didn't detect the opponent held back. So they get hit, but then when they do the calculation to sync to reality, they'll find out that the opponent did hold back. So the character will go pat, and then all of a sudden they'll be blocking. So that'll happen more quickly and it'll happen more frequently, right? So the rollbacks won't be as bad and they'll happen a lot less. I mean, it'll happen quicker. So you might actually not see it as bad, but that's because the ping is good, so they have the information to be able to send back and forth quicker, right? Now here's the problem with that, is that what it's not doing is syncing the players' clocks together. One of the biggest bugs in Street Fighter V's netcode is that one player can think it's at time A and the other player is running at time A minus N, right? So they're desynced. So what happens is that one player is always catching up. The one player is always catching up, right? They're like, oh wait, oh here's actually his results, here's actually his result, here's actually the result, here's actually the results. So even though it's happened more frequently, this is happening as opposed to okay, reset the state, okay, reset the state. Now it's just reset. But the problem is the other person is still back. So the one-sided rollback, the one-sided problem is still happening, right? So that was the one thing that Altimor's patch tried to fix that the other one isn't doing. As far as I can tell from everything that I've read, that's the thing missing from this, right? They've improved some stuff and it is better. So if you have a good connection, your matches are better and maybe the rollbacks aren't nearly as disruptive, but they still haven't fixed the two players having their clock matched. And that causes the one side rollback. And we've definitely seen video evidence of that happening. And they can fix the problem because that's what Altimor did, right? He actually fixed the problem. Now, of course, there was definitely a lot of bugs that came with Altimor's patch, and it definitely ruined some connections that used to be playable, right? The majority of the connections were improved, but some of them were made worse. So you don't want to roll that out necessarily without doing a bunch of tests or figuring out ways to fix the bad matchups, the bad matches and everything. Again, if that's what Capcom is doing, communication would be great. Hey, we've rolled out this preemptive fix based off of what Altimor did. Now we'll test out the rest of it and try to, like, if they communicated with us, that would be kind of cool, right? Now, yeah, they didn't fix only the PC side, Chen. That's not the way that you want to perceive it. The reason why he only fixed the PC side of things is because the PC is the only version you could replace the DLL on. Technically, the fix would have worked on every version. It's just you can't update the PS4 version because the PS4 is a closed box. You don't have access to any of the files that are on the console. He made a fix that would fix everything. If Capcom implemented that fix and then put that also into the PS4 code, it would have worked for everybody. It's not that Altimor's code only worked on PC. It works everywhere. It's just you can't modify the files on the PS4. So, in other words, it's a fix for everything. So if Capcom took it as was and pushed it to both platforms, it would fix cross-platform play. It wouldn't still be desynced and ruin PS4 play, right? That's one thing we actually want to get, I want to set clear. It would have fixed both sides and the cross-platform would have worked just fine. It's just that PCs are hackable, consoles are not, right? That's the way it works. So, Capcom did not implement the clock syncing between the two players. So we still have one-sided rollback. So what I've heard from a lot of people now is that a lot of people have been having a much better experience. A lot of people have been having a significantly worse experience. Some people are saying they can't tell the difference at all, that it feels exactly the same as it was before. I would say most people have probably said that they've noticed a little bit of an improvement, but the thing about it is most people who have also played the Altimor patch have said that it's not as good as the fan mods, but it's still an improvement. And as players of the game, an improvement is an improvement. I mean, look, I know it's optimistic to say we should be happy about the improvements. Do we want to demand more out of them, especially after 4 years, especially when someone else has a fix that does fix the clock sync issue? Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, what we should probably do is try to give them the feedback to SFV server on Twitter in as nice of a way as possible, instead of flaming everybody on Twitter as we generally do. So, Altimor's patch up the CPU usage and the PS4 doesn't have a lot of headroom. Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. There's a lot of things that you could probably do to tweak that a little bit. Don't make it as frequent. Don't make it check every single frame. Like the difference of CPU processing of doing something every single frame and every other frame or every third frame is actually, you know, pretty good, pretty decent. So, but the thing about it is, though, that it's still not what we wanted, right? It's still not to the degree that we want. And again, like I said, it actually makes me happy to see a lot of people, you know, talking about it, getting mad at the people with the snap reactions from yesterday and everything like that, because it just means that there are that many people who are enjoying the game who really want to play it right now, because the game is in a great state. I've been saying that for a while now. I think Season 5 Street Fighter V is probably some of the most fun that I've had with a fighting game in a long time, and I'm really enjoying it. I like the new characters, etc., etc. There's a lot of people out there that want to enjoy the game. The anger and the frustration from a lot of us, I think, comes from just more that we want to play the game in the most enjoyable way possible. Yes, so like Bold Girl says, it's a step in the right direction. We need to let them know that it's not enough. That just because they made it better doesn't mean that we're ready to sit on our laurels and be happy now. We want this to be the best experience possible. Yes, this can be done in 3D games. KI does it, MK11 does it, Punch Planet does it. A lot of games do this with 3D graphics. And plus, this game was designed from the ground up with rollback in mind. It can be made into an amazing experience if they just take the time, in my opinion. If they just are willing to do that. And, you know, someone had a tweet earlier based off of the false information, of course, but someone had a tweet that basically said, you know, they don't want to spend a big chunk of money to fix this, but, you know, by not fixing it, they're going to lose a lot of money, right? And regardless of if it's a slight improvement or a giant, or no improvement, slight improvement isn't good enough. And I think a lot of people will agree on that. A lot of people do want better, and I like they need to implement this, because not only that, if they implement it and they figure out how to make it work, that's just information and knowledge for them in Street Fighter 6. It's not wasted effort, right? You develop this, you figure out the bugs here, and even if you don't use the same library, if you go and try to recode it again for Street Fighter 6 or for whatever new fighting game you're coming out with, new Capcom versus game. No, I'm just kidding. Regardless of when you find the bugs, that's experience. That's information you can take into the next game, right? It's not wasted effort. I think Capcom should allocate the budget to it. However, I also know it's not that easy to just be like, hey, yo, Capcom Prez, give me some money to do this. And the Capcom Prez like, yo, here, I got fat stacks for you. You know, that's not how companies work, right? They gotta convince them, they've gotta talk to them, they gotta have a way to convince them. But if that's kind of the convincing that needs to be done, I think that's a good way to put it, is that this information that they figure out will help Street Fighter 6 in the future, and that's why it's worth investing in it. It'll make sure Street Fighter 6 is a more solid product with proper rollback netcode on release. And if that can happen, the amount of fan appreciation will just be like ridiculous. I think that people would be so happy to see something like that, and I think that's how you convince them to let you do it. So there you go. But that's all I'm going to say for now on this topic here. Again, faults on all sides. Again, I apologize. myself personally for reacting a little too quickly, but at the same time, we do need and should expect better communication from Capcom in the future. So, but that's it for this Chen reaction section. I'm gonna do a Q&A where I'm gonna answer your questions in chat, talk to you guys about stuff. We can talk a lot more about this. I'll probably do that for maybe like 20 minutes or something like that, and then I'm gonna actually go and play online on the PS4 and experience to see if the improvement, if I can sense the improvement. Again, in this stream, I never said quantitatively whether it has improved or not, because I haven't tried it myself yet, so I'm going to try it after the Q&A section. But if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you know, like, subscribe, and make sure you continue subscribing to youtube.com/UltraChenTV. If you guys are here on Twitch and you are appreciating the content, the candid discussions and everything, and just, you know, talking about how things work, and just, you know, really kind of getting into the nitty gritty of what exactly happened yesterday, give me a follow here on Twitch. As you can see right here, I've got a sub goal to get to 250. I'm almost 60% of the way there. I've got 131 days to go. If you guys want to subscribe, use your Amazon Prime account, etc., would be greatly appreciated. Or bits, gift subs, donations, those kind of things also help as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. But like I said, if you're here on Twitch, the discussion is not over yet. We will be back with Ask jchensor right after this. Thanks, guys. And, oh, shout-outs to Kite Music. Oh, dang, Maximilian, dude. Holy crap. Holy crap, Maximilian, dude. With the, wow, with the 20 gift subs. Holy oh, shit. Oh, God, wow. Thank you, Max. Gee, well, then, you know what? Maximilian, 20 subs, 20 gift subs here. Maximilian deserves the biggest suck my nuts, Maximilian, that I could possibly give. Suck my nuts, Maximilian. Wow, thank you. And shout outs to Kite Music, Hastia, Sora, NDSCX, Gates TV, Second Gamma, Optosi, Critical 419, Sanguine Hearts, Ishan, Beyond Two Bowls, Yuki Berry, Makix RV, Speak of the Devil, Man of Peerless Might 84, PR Captain Charisma, Night Slash, June Wilson, Ignacio Corto, and Rumi Red Ribbon. Welcome to the Chensor Dynasty. Oh, thank you, Maximilian. Appreciate it, appreciate it. And again, suck my nuts, Max. Suck my nuts. And seriously, I mean that in the nicest way possible. Alright, guys. Actually, I'm going to let this... How much more do we have here to let through? Man, we've got like another 10 to make it through. So I'll just sit here and sit here for just a little bit. But thanks, Max. Appreciate that, man. I did talk about getting guests on my show, and Max, I definitely need to get you on the show one day still. We still need to do that. I can sing to you guys for a while. What do you guys want me to sing? I can feel it coming over me. I feel it all around me. I've been waiting for my life. All my life, it's my destiny. But, thank you guys. Thank you, Max and everybody. Shout outs to all of you guys who are now members of the Chensor Dynasty. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a lot closer to the goal now. Although this thing still hasn't quite updated yet. I want to see this jump up over here. What is the meaning of life? Always look on the bright side of life. Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. Always look on the bright side of life. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. God, I just flipped a crap load of tables right now. And then Rumi Red Ribbon should be the last one. There you go. Again, thank you, Maximilian. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very much appreciated. And look at this. I got a bunch of other subscriptions while those were going too. It looks like Crook Fuji has also subscribed, as well as Pikia has subscribed as well. So yeah, that subscriber count should jump up significantly now. Oh, again, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maximilian, to everybody for the support here. What, another one? Praetor 51? Thank you, Praetor 51. Thank you guys very much. Wow, I guess when I come back from the break, we'll hopefully see an updated number down here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Maximilian, sir. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And once again, Maximilian, congratulations. Congratulations to you and JJ. Really happy for you guys, man. That's gonna be fantastic. That's amazing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what kind of gamer that you're gonna end up raising. Shout outs to Space Dive for the subscription as well. Dang, look at Maximilian has just started this crazy subscription train here. Oh, I don't know what to say. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. I appreciate that so much. So much. Because like I said, this will be a huge help for me. And if we can keep this going as well too. So thank you guys again. We'll be back with the Chen reaction Q&A, Ask jchensor section right after this. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Oh man, Space Dive. Suck my nuts, Space Dive. Thank you.